Welcome back to another episode of the Momentum Shift podcast. In this episode, we're gonna do our NBA pick'em that we always do, and we're also gonna talk about the JJ Watt situation, how he was released, and where we think he should go, and also a potential Russell Wilson trade because apparently that's been rumored. So yeah, I'm Irish, this is my co-host Shant also, and without further ado, let's get started on the pick'em. So yesterday was the 25th of September, and in all these games, there's six games. Five of them we had the same pick, so it's irrelevant. The only game that we didn't have was Kings and Knicks. So, Nishant, what was
Mm,
that?
The Knicks won 140 to 121.
Okay,
I think
so
that's
I
a pretty
win
high
this,
scoring
and
game.
then therefore I win the day. So I guess that brings me up to three, and so 3-1. Let's put tomorrow's as well.
All right. Pacers Celtics. Rockets Raptors. Kings Pistons. Jazz Heat. Clippers Grizzlies. Clippers Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Um, Hawks Thunder. Hornets Warriors. Trailblazers Lakers.
Okay. So wait. So I'll start off with Pacers versus Celtics. I'm probably gonna go with. I know the Celtics have been losing a lot here, just mainly on gut feeling. It's gonna be Celtics.
Same. The Pacers are like have a better record, but I feel like I have a gut feeling that the Celtics are gonna win for some reason.
The Rockets are trash, so I'm picking the Raptors. I think you are as well.
Yeah, without Christian Wood, the Rockets just can't win a game. So
Okay. Kings Pistons. I'm just gonna go with the Kings. I just think they're a better team. No.
yeah, the Pistons don't have any people like other than
Yeah, so Jazz Heat. I'm gonna
Jimmy
go with
Green.
the Heat just because I think it's an upset, and I just see the Jazz losing for some reason.
All right, I got the Jazz.
Clippers Grizzlies. I'm gonna go with Clippers. Okay. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go with Clippers.
Oh, I forgot to say Spurs Bulls, by the way. Sorry.
Spurs what?
I mean, not Spurs, Suns Bulls. Suns Bulls. Um, the the Grizzlies just beat the Clippers by like 30, but I still got the Clippers. So they play. I think that's pretty interesting. They play like 2 days in a row.
Hawks versus Thunder. I'm probably gonna go with the Hawks. They've been losing a lot of games, and I thought they could be like a legitimate like a threat to win a playoff series this year. I didn't think they would contend, but like sort of the same way, with like a team like the Suns or the Mavericks or something, you don't really expect them to win a title, but you feel if things go right, they could win a playoff series, maybe even two, but they've just been doing so bad.
Honestly, like they first started hot and then they went bad, but now they're being hot again. So I feel like um I got the Hawks as well. Like I just think the Thunder are really that team so because
Okay,
they
Hornets,
don't have
Warriors.
any
I'm
good
gonna go
players.
with the Hornets.
Same.
Actually, then I'm gonna go with the Warriors. I'm honestly on the fence, so whatever you're not going with, I'll go. I'm gonna go with the Lakers here
Same.
and Suns both. I'm gonna go with the Suns.
I'm gonna go with the Bulls.
Okay, so there are four games that we'll decide tomorrow. There could be a tie, but we'll wait and see. Okay, so that's pretty much all for this one. Um,
All right.
so what do you think? What do you think about the Celtics? They haven't been doing. They've like at least in the beginning of the year, Brown was playing amazing, and everyone thought they could seriously compete for titles. But now they got like a losing record or like 500 or something like an unacceptable record. So, what do you think?
See, I think this kind of asks the question: Are Brown and Tatum kind of just putting up like empty stats, kind of like you would say Trey Young or like a guy that's putting up a bunch of stats not winning games? I feel like the team, like both those guys are averaging more than 25, but the team, like Kemba, he's injured and he just isn't who he used to be, and even his defense just isn't there at all. He can't play. Can't
Hey,
be like one of the
Kemba
worst defenders in
Walker,
the
I'm
league.
I'm not gonna like I'm not expecting him to be an all-star, but like if he could be a solid rotational point guard, like something like Rondo or something, then I think they should have that's what they need. They don't even need an all-star type player from him because Tatum and Brown aren't like Klay Thompson type players. They need the ball in their hands. So having Kemba Walker just have the ball in his hands for that long, I don't think it's a good idea. So if he's just like a normal rotational, like solid point guard, then like a Spencer Dinwiddie or something, then that's gonna be the best situation for them. So I don't think you can
I
say
mean, like if you look at he's averaging like 17 points, but his shooting percentage is like in the 30s. It's like really bad.
yeah, I
And
mean 17 points is what he should average. You don't need him to give you 23, 24 a
I
night.
don't know, but if he's
Anywhere
putting
from
up,
15 to 18, I think is fine.
I don't know, but he's putting up like 20 shots per game. So I think that
Yeah, the
maybe he needs
efficiency,
to.
of course, needs to get a bit like it doesn't matter what role you fill, 30 something percent is never good.
I think one of their major issues right now is just like defense in the paint because and rebounding because Daniel Theis is not he's really regressed from last year and so is Tristan Thompson in my opinion. And I feel like their big men just aren't that good. And um I feel like Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and Kemba are like the only four guys that you can really count on right now, and they just don't have a roster that is deep enough like to win these regular season games. In the playoffs, if they make it to the playoffs, I can see them winning a series just because they have like the start level in their starting lineup. But then in the regular season right now, I just don't know if they are able to win all these games. You know,
So the Heat are playing today. Uh, so do you think the Heat are like underselling their expectations, or do you think the expectations from that like were set by last year, making the finals, taking it to 6 games, all that? Do you think that like unfairly boosted up the expectations for the Heat too much, or like what do you think this team should do and why?
I mean, obviously, I feel like the bubble really helped them, but for the talent that their team has, I feel like they're gonna like step it up and at least be like the 7 seed by the end of the season. Um, like especially, I think they're more talented than rosters like the Knicks and the Bulls, and they shouldn't be behind them. I think they'd be more talented than the Pacers, honestly. So like they should.
I mean, Jimmy
They're only.
Butler is their best player. He's missed like 3 weeks of time, 4 weeks or
I
something.
think Bam Adebayo is their best player, but
I mean, even if
I,
you think you can't say Bam Adebayo is so much better than him, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
only him.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. It's like a LeBron AD thing where like both stars are like are as important to the team, I guess, in the sense that if one of them's out, the team's gonna be losing a lot. So yeah, obviously, I still feel like when Jimmy Butler was is there, they're not playing like that great, and um, I think they're gonna step it up though for sure. I think they're gonna end up cementing themselves as a playoff team by the end of the season, but um, I
I
don't see
think the
them being a
Heat
top
are
three
having like
seed.
the same problem, like for example, like the Ravens had last year, where I think people start to figure you out. It's like particularly guys like the young guys who would like hit threes and stuff like that. I forgot who their names were and all that, but like all these guys have sort of even regressed when you'd expect them at like what 22, 23 to be getting better. They've gotten worse than they did in the playoffs when it's much harder. So I think the problem that's happening for them now is they had such a young team, and now people are starting to like figure them out and figure out like especially if you can't create your own shot or do something, which these guys can't. Like they figure out, okay, if he's running around the screen, you just cut him off there or things like that, or you identify the screen in advance. So I think the Heat also they weren't the most talented roster. Of course, the Bucks should have made the finals, and they choked and didn't. And even the Celtics probably were a more talented roster. I think it's possible the Heat are like being too frustrated now with how they are, but I don't think they should have even gotten as far as they did last year because simply because other teams were like less structured. Like take the Clippers for example. I know they're not in the Western Conference, but apply the same principle where the Clippers sort of were their own enemy. They didn't lose as much to the Nuggets as they lost to themselves. And I think that sort of hurt teams. Like I think one guy on the Bucks didn't touch a basketball for like 5 months or something, and things like that. Which the problem is that the
Chris
Heat.
Middleton.
Yeah, exactly. If you're an all-star and you're expected to contribute that much, you can't not touch a basketball for that long and things like that.
Yeah. I
So maybe
just
it's
wanted to say
possible the
something.
Heat did better because of that, and not actually because they were a better team.
I just want to say, first of all, just an interesting thing I started to think about. Every team that Jay Crowder goes to, the team becomes like really, really good. And obviously, like he might not be like that good of a player, but it kind of shows that he has some type of impact on a team. Like maybe it's like perimeter
I mean,
defense or
that's
just.
two teams. That's two teams using as an example.
No, I'm using like four teams. So, do you remember like the Celtics teams with Isaiah Thomas? Those are like their best team in my opinion. But
They were better without him, though. They got the best. The Celtics were never that good. The best they ever did was the year when Kyrie Irving was injured, the first year,
I think the
2018. The year when Tatum was a rookie.
yeah, but I mean like they also made the Eastern Conference Finals the year that Crowder was there, and then Crowder goes to the Cavs, and I mean that's LeBron, and then maybe he's just lucky that he's going to all these like good situations, and then he went to the Heat. I mean, he went to the Jazz, then he went to the Heat,
Yeah, but
then
look,
he.
those two examples in between, the Cavs were absolutely terrible with him. That's why like
Wait, no,
he can't
wait,
trade anybody.
the Cavs made the finals with LeBron and him, like the year that.
He got traded. He was one of the guys who like in the middle of the year they traded the whole roster away.
Oh
He was
yeah,
one of those
okay.
guys. And then the Jazz weren't anything special either. I think they got eliminated in like the second round or something.
No, but
And
I also just another point. You said that the Heat were like this year's Ravens, but when Lamar Jackson was playing, the Ravens are 10-2 this season. So and they still have the number one rush offense in the league. So I don't
they
even know if
weren't
they got figured out that
they
hard.
weren't 10-2 this year.
When Lamar Jackson was playing,
They
they
only
were.
lost to the Patriots and the Chiefs.
Oh wait, then they lost three because they lost the Steelers, Patriots, and Chiefs. That's what I remember when Lamar Jackson was playing. So then they
Yeah,
were ten
but you
and
know
two.
Lamar Jackson has a he's like he's like 30-1 or something like that in meaningless games. Not meaningless, but like just normal games. And games when it counts, like when you're going up against the Chiefs or playoff games or like any most good teams. Actually, he's beaten good teams, but playoff games, the Chiefs and a select other teams like maybe the Steelers or someone, he he hasn't won a single game until like very recently last year.
I mean,
He hadn't won a single
this
game.
season he destroyed the Browns twice, and he beat the Steelers once, and he
The Browns are
um
trash early in the year.
well he beat them like later on in the year as well, and then he beat the Steelers.
I mean, okay, yeah, I'll give him credit for that. That was a like the game where his Paul Pierce game, that thing. When he like left or something in
Oh
the middle
yeah,
of the game. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll give him credit for that. I agree that was a good game, but like he's been playing for what 3 4 years now. You can't have one example in 3 4 years. Like you look at almost any games Mahomes has played, and he's there. And I get it, Mahomes is supposed to be the greatest player of all time if he keeps winning and all that, but who's supposed to be the main competitor for him? It's Lamar Jackson. So I mean,
yeah. Um, I think when people like try to compare, they try to set like too high expectations, and um, it's not like there's a guy that's at like Manning's level or whatever where you're able to even like compare them at all. Like obviously Brady's like ahead of Manning now, but like back when they were playing against each other, you were able to compare them because like there was a guy. But right now, I think like there's not that guy yet. Maybe Watson can become that guy, or Josh Allen could become that guy, but right now there just isn't that guy. You know what I mean? To compared to Mahomes, I guess.
yeah, but I mean, Josh Allen wasn't anything special, right? That was all coaching staff and situation. Okay, not all, but yeah.
I, I I mean I don't know because like if you watch the throws he's making, and I feel like the only like issue with his game right now is his accuracy, and he's just continuing to improve that. he's like really fast. He's strong. He's able to hit these throws.
That game against the Chiefs, it reminded me of the Super Bowl where like a more experienced team just absolutely destroys a younger person. Like that's what it sort of reminded me of. So like Diggs couldn't get open, nothing was happening. His other all-pro receiver wasn't able to do anything. And like the Chiefs just played amazing defense. And then the same team that like really helped him out and let him get all those crazy stats and all those things sort of didn't help him out anymore. And then you saw him fail and throw interceptions and all, like throw balls that should have been intercepted and things like that. So
Yeah, but
mean,
at
at
the
the
same
same has
time,
happened with Lamar Jackson. Last year, it wasn't just him who was doing it. He had the best offensive line in the league. The defense was amazing, and everything was good around them. So then, when things started to fall apart, he simply wasn't able to. He couldn't carry the load like he was supposed to be able to. I mean, I
in my
agree. There were,
opinion,
I'm sure there would have been a few games where like it was a Mahomes level thing, and like the Super Bowl thing where he Mahomes is just running around every play, like no one can carry there. But I don't know.
yeah, and in my opinion, last year like the Ravens, I feel like everybody says they have the number one offensive line and everything, but I feel like the only reason they have the number one offensive line and looks like that is because Mahomes was able to escape the pressure and run out of the pocket. And honestly, like if they didn't have Mahomes, like when Flacco was there, he was getting sacked like all the time, and it can't be just like they didn't make them any big moves for their offensive line just like that, and um,
I
it
mean,
just
you could
I don't
easily
know.
make the. I could easily say that if I switched Lamar Jackson and Mahomes, there wouldn't be much of a difference. Like it's not because of the surroundings. I think, of course, the receivers in Baltimore are far worse than the receivers in Kansas City, but everything else around them, if you were to like basically trade those two QBs, there wouldn't be too big of a difference.
I mean, like, what do you mean by that? Like, you think Mahomes would still be the number one guy,
Yeah,
and
Mahomes would still be like the
oh, okay.
14-1 guy and all that, and Lamar Jackson would be good, but he wouldn't be Mahomes.
I mean, yeah, I think Lamar's offense is built around him though, so you can't really. I mean, I'm not like obviously Mahomes is better than Lamar. Like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that um, the reason that Lamar's offense is kind of like that is because it's built like that, and then Mahomes is built around him, I guess. So well, moving on to like um, wait, what else were we talking about? Oh yeah, we are talking about the NBA, right? All right.
Yeah,
Well, do you want to start talking about Russell Wilson trade rumors?
sure. So what were the
So
teams that he's supposed to like want to go to or something?
New Orleans Saints, Oakland Raiders, Chicago Bears, and let me check 1 second. Yeah, so for the I was really interesting that he wanted to go. I was pretty interested that he wanted to go to the Saints because I'm not. Oh yeah, and the Cowboys were the fourth team. I'm
I
not really
mean,
sure.
all of
Like,
those teams make sense. I don't really know the Raiders why he would want to go there, but um,
I
Saints.
mean, the
I You said the Saints were the best roster in the NFL if you take out quarterbacks. So of course, anyone in their right mind would want to go there, and they average like 13 wins a season for the last 5 years, and
I know, but
then
the Saints also have like the worst salary cap like problem in like NFL history. Like, I think they're
NFL
100
history.
million
What does
over
that
the
mean?
cap.
What does that
They're
mean?
like the Saints are $100 million over the cap right now, so they have to like make roster moves to like they might have to cut people or let people go to they have to get to zero, so they have to shed $100 million in cap space, which is just crazy to me. But I don't know how they're gonna do that. And then the Cowboys
Do
are
they
obviously
have to get rid of all 100 million or just part of it?
like all 100 million. I think they can. I think they're able to get rid of 23 million by restructuring Breeze's contract, but then that still leaves $77 million or some $74 million,
So
something
you
like
can
that
like be
too.
over the cap and pay like a luxury fine or something like that. A luxury
Yeah,
tax.
I don't think there's a luxury tax in the NFL. So um, honestly, I think the luxury tax in the NBA is a good idea, but at the same time, it kind of benefits um winning teams, I guess, or like teams with bigger markets because um, they can go over the cap to sign more players, and a lot more players want to join them. So it
I mean,
kind of
not
goes.
really, because NFL's like it's less about oh I'll just go to a big market team or something. Like the whole free agency thing isn't even as big of a deal in the NFL. So
I think see, in the NFL, there's actually a lot more free agent signings, but then the NBA guys, since there's only like 11 playable players on your team that play like daily in the NBA, like a free agency signing or a trade is like a lot bigger of a headline, and the NFL would only be that way if it was like a star wide receiver, a star quarterback, or like a star defensive player like Stephon Gilmore or Aaron Donald, where they're stars. But then in the NBA, if a guy like Kemba Walker gets traded, it's like a really big impact because he's a starting point guard. You know what I mean? It
I mean, like I feel trades and drafts are way bigger in terms of moving in the NFL than free agency. Whereas like the biggest way to make a splash in the NBA is free agency.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because in the NBA there's like there's a lot bigger of a concept of player empowerment and like players leaving their team, but then
No,
in the
I don't think
NFL,
that's the big deal. I think even if it happened in the NFL, I think it's just impact. Where if you sign one or two players, you can instantly become a contender. That's what the Clippers did. They went from being like I don't know what they would have been
mediocre.
like what 15th in power rankings or something, right? Just straight to first in a single day, and they signed one guy and made one trade. You could that would never happen in the NFL. Where like the only way that happens is if like you trade Mahomes for two first round picks, and you
It
get Mahomes for
actually
two first round picks, and then you somehow bring in like
no, it
Aaron
actually
Donald.
happened. In 2012, the Broncos came off an 11-5 season. Wait, not 11-5, 9-7 season, and they signed Peyton Manning, and they went 13-3. But I feel like big quarterbacks never really. I guess happened to the Bucks this year also. Like
I
it
mean,
barely ever
I think
happens
that the
where
quarterback is the most important position, so that sort of
yeah,
isn't
I
as
think
fair for comparison.
yeah, I think that and also like these big guys, right? They're really like committed to their team. Like I don't see the Mahomes. Like Mahomes just signed a 10-year, $500 million contract. I don't see him like leaving the Chiefs even after those 10 years unless he gets like an Achilles injury and he starts regressing or something like that. Because like maybe like when like 16 years into his career, he wants to like prove himself. He'll leave the team, but
I
then
mean, I didn't even see Watson leaving. If you ask me, honestly, Watson is leaving. Like it's a conspiracy. Of course, I can never prove it, but I feel like Watson's leaving because of like some racial things or something like that. It's not like he. Of course, he hasn't specified why. I think it's like I think it's
no,
not that it's a bad organization or something. I think he's leaving because someone like mistreated him or something like that.
no, yeah, no. DeAndre Hopkins said that the owner Cal McNair was like a little racist or something, and also
Yeah,
he wasn't.
exactly.
It's
I
just
mean, what else could it be? Like, they haven't made a big move or something. Like, if you expected him to walk out, that would be last year when they traded away Hopkins. But
no. I think also they signed the general manager and the head coach that Watson didn't want, and Watson said that he wanted to like be the guy that they ask, I guess, when they make these moves. Like
I think sort of what's happening is like he sort of said, like, I think they had like a power struggle or something where he wanted like to influence the decisions, and like they just hired him and they said, okay, you know what, we're not doing that because we don't want to listen to you or something like that.
no, and I think like all of these like factors just led to this point that Watson is at right now, where um
Yeah, but he's not
everything's
leaving.
just
He's leaving because of the incompetence of the organization. He's not even leaving because it's a bad team, because like the team has been bad. He could have requested a trade midway through the season. It was quite obvious. Like, weren't they like 0-5 or something?
I'm not sure, but yeah, I know what you mean.
They lost so
No,
many games. So once you're 0-5, you know the team is trash. You're not gonna win 11 straight games.
they actually played six straight playoff teams in their first six games or something like that. But
I
at the
know,
same
but you
time,
can't lose all of them. At the very least, you
yeah,
go 3-3 or 2-4 or something, right?
yeah, for sure. I think that obviously the organization had a big impact, and then if Watson doesn't get traded like soon, if he like comes out and like does a press conference and says, I want to like get out of this city or something like not like that, but if he says I want to leave the
More
Texans,
space. Yeah.
yeah, then his value would go down really, really
His
like
value
low
is
because
already low. I mean, everyone knows he wants a trade, so it's just gonna go like a bit lower. But
no,
honestly, it's not gonna go down much. Like
but like it's probably like the biggest like I don't think I've ever seen a trade where a guy
he's
this
too
valuable has been
valuable.
traded.
He's
Yeah.
too valuable. Like there's no way his value goes down too much.
Yeah, like it's just insane to think about the fact that Watson gets traded. And then the thing is if you trade him, like you're kind of just taking a chance, because every single draft pick is just a chance you're taking on getting the right pick. But then Watson was proven to be the right pick, if that makes sense. Like he was one of those chances also, but he was already proven, and to get a guy like that that's
I mean,
proven in the
Watson
NFL.
is like he's exactly what you go for when you draft a quarterback. Like he is
Yeah.
probably the second best quarterback there is right now, and Mahomes in his own league, so let's not compare to him. He really is like whenever you draft a quarterback first overall or something like when they drafted Baker Mayfield or when they're going to draft whoever this year first overall, all that you want him to be Watson. Like he's exactly what you want. And Watson is still young, so he's basically just the draft. The same guy you'll draft this year or next year, whenever, with about 3-4 more years of experience and 3-4 years less of time. But
Do you think that Will Fuller, if Watson gets traded, do you think Will Fuller will like follow him wherever he goes? Because Will Fuller's a free agent, and I don't really see Will Fuller staying with the Texans honestly if Watson gets traded because they're like buds, and like um it's just a bad situation to be in if you want to win games.
yeah, like maybe go to like New England or something.
Yeah, see, New England would actually be a really good situation for him because
I don't know though.
he'll
Like,
be
would he like be an overpay?
no because like when he was this season he had an insane, maybe it's because Watson was there, but when he was healthy, like before
Like,
he
is
had
he
the
like is he gonna get like top receiver money when he's not that good? Like, does he deserve to be paid like Diggs or someone like
I
that,
mean
or close to that if he's not that good? Like,
when he
not
wait
of course he's good, but he's not. He's not like top five receiver, right?
he's yeah I'd say he's like a top 20 receiver, maybe top 15, but I don't know if he's that good. Yeah, and also it might have been attributed to the fact that Watson's his quarterback, but um yeah, I don't think he deserves that much money, but if he goes to a team like New England, right, where he'll be the wide receiver one, that might be a good situation for him
I
because he
think
can.
I think if you're New England, you have to draft a quarterback first overall, or like first pick, and then he has a rookie deal that starts their 5-year window, and then you get like Allen Robinson and Will Fuller and things like that, get him some help. And then I mean just look at the Patriots offense. If you're a normal team, you don't have to be the Chiefs. If you're any team, who would you want from that Patriots offense? Like if I told you, if I'm Bill Belichick and I said, take whoever you want, seventh round pick is all it'll take. Would you take anyone from the Patriots offense?
Like Edelman, but like that's only because of his experience and his
You
like
you wouldn't
mentality
take
and stuff.
Edelman, honestly, you wouldn't. He would be paying too much, and then he has like a year left. And I said seventh round pick, but like he's worth more than that. So
I
you
mean,
wouldn't want him.
maybe like Sonny Michelle, but I don't really know. It's
Why would you want Sony Michelle? Like you like running backs, it's really easy to get a good running back. So I mean,
but I mean for a 7th round pick, that's like really nothing. And
I mean
um,
that was an exaggeration. I mean, just like
oh okay,
who would
okay,
you
yeah.
want from that team? There's literally no
I,
one.
I'm, I mean, yeah. Honestly, I don't really know if they're like, in that good of a position, and
So
maybe
like
maybe they should take a quarterback next year because if let's say they take a quarterback this year, right,
they
and they do
shouldn't do that. You
bad,
know why? Because
but
they have $100 million in cap, which is the most there is. And then like I think that this was just like a gap year for Belichick sort of, and I think next year is when he's gonna like make his splash and like come back and show everyone why he's the best. So he has to like spend all that money in free agency and then um yeah, spend all the money in free agency, draft a quarterback, and he has to hit a home run. If he hits a home run, I think he's gonna win a Super Bowl in a few years because you've still got a few years left with the defense. It's aging, but I think the defense is good enough to win you a few games, and then uh, the Jets are free two wins, and then you're
See,
probably
are
gonna
the
win one
Jets
game against
The
the
Jets have
Dolphins.
the Jets have the most cap space in the NFL. They have the number two overall pick. They have like I don't really know if they're gonna be free to wins, especially if they're able to trade for um Watson. You like
I mean,
the
that's
Patriots are
if
probably
they
in the
trade
hardest.
Watson. They haven't done that yet, so
No, but like if you think about it, the Patriots might be in the hardest division coming up in football because the Bills are just went 13-3 and they're young. The Dolphins went 11-5 and they're or 10-6 and they're young and they still have a young quarterback who can still develop. They might even draft a quarterback because they have the number three overall pick, and then they have
how did they
and
have the
then
third overall pick?
because they have the
They were,
Texans pick
how did they get the Texans pick?
from the Laramie Tunsil trade.
So we could have had a good quarterback.
Yeah, like wasn't that like that was the whole reason the Texans like were in such a bad situation because
Was
they
it
can't
one of
even.
those trash trades from Bill O'Brien?
No, it was the Laramie Tunsil trade, but like if like they didn't even win a ring, so I feel like that trade wasn't worth it that much because like what like obviously he's a really good offensive lineman, he's like an all pro, but like at the same time, um he's
Two
kind of.
first round picks for an offensive lineman.
I mean, he like I feel like that could have been worth it if Watson was still like committed to the team and everything. But honestly,
If we were
with the way
competing, that
they
would be
lost,
worth it.
yeah. If they were competing like last season, it was worth it. But then this season, I don't know why like they became so bad. I think it's just because of the defense. Because like even without Hopkins, like that can't be the reason because they were still putting up like monstrous points per game, like 28 or something, which is like they were like top 10 in the league in scoring. But then it's just I don't know.
They
Maybe
were
their
also the
defense just
first
fell off that
defense
hard.
allowed.
I think also the division improved a lot, right? Like the Colts and the Titans both became
Yeah,
these really good teams.
they were
And
both
then
playoff teams.
yeah, the Colts is all about like how Carson Wentz is going to perform. If he plays like last year, then they're probably going to do bad. But they have the roster. Like honestly, the quarterbacks are their weakest position. They have Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. They have actually the wide receivers aren't that good, but they're okay. They have T.Y. Hilton. What's his name? Michael Pittman, who was really good as a rookie last year. And then their defense is really, really good. They have a top five defense, and I feel like they can either hit the sky or just fall down low. You know what I mean? It's one of those types of situations where they're taking a chance on Carson Wentz, and we'll see how it goes.
They're not gonna compete for a title, even like unless their defense turns amazing or something like that. They're not gonna compete for a title.
Isn't it? Isn't this conference kind of like the West and the NBA, where
It
like no
doesn't matter.
matter
It doesn't
how,
matter how good
yeah,
Carson Wentz plays. Yeah, even like unless he plays like Mahomes, they're not playing. Like the only two ways they compete is if the defense turns into the Legion of Boom Seahawks, or if
the
um
Legion of Seahawks wasn't even the best defense in last decade,
of
though.
course it was the best defense in the NFL. Come on, of
Like in the decade, it wasn't the best defense.
course it was.
No, all the statistics favor the 2017 Jaguars defense and the 2015 Broncos defense over them.
20 what?
2017 Jaguars, which was like the year when they lost the Patriots Saints championship,
Hey,
and the
did they
20
win? Did they win that year?
no, but it's like I'm talking about the statistics that like the Seahawks didn't
Yeah,
just
but did
win
they
for their
win?
defense.
The Seahawks. Look at the Super Bowl. Look at their resume. I mean, if you ask me, the Bills had like some of the best stats in the whole NFL. Were they good? No, they were garbage. Like, but look at the Seahawks. Then they in all the games they had in the biggest game of the whole season that they ever played. What do they do to the best offense of all time? Of all time, you're not going to argue that was the best offense of all time. And what do they do to them?
I know, but I'm just okay, fine. But I'm just talking about
Peyton
talent
Manning was like
wise
a
and
34,
statistics
5 year
wise.
old man, and they made him look like 12-year-old. Like
No, I mean, he didn't actually have that bad of a game. I think they're just behind. It was
they
just
made him look
like,
like a 12-year-old.
did you watch the game? He didn't have that bad of a game.
It's the Super Bowl. Of course, I watched the game.
But he didn't look that bad. But I mean,
I mean,
obviously,
he didn't look that bad. Like he probably averaged like 350 yards and 4 touchdowns a game. So, like, doesn't look that bad.
I
Isn't
know, I
good
know. But
compared
okay,
to
fine.
what he
I'm just okay.
was.
Other than like, okay, fine. I'm just talking about the statistics and the talent in that team, like on the teams themselves, like on the defenses themselves. Then I'm just saying the 2015 Broncos and 2017 Jaguars are better defenses.
Neither of those teams were. Who okay, Jalen
Also,
Ramsey
the
is
the
good.
20 the 20
Jalen
the
Ramsey is
2015.
good. Jalen Ramsey was good. Richard Sherman was better. Uh, who else did they have? I don't know who they had
Calais
at
Campbell was a defensive player of the like, or
No,
yeah,
it
defensive
wasn't.
player of the year.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, well, he was like second then.
I don't think he was second either.
Yeah, he was. He was, and then dude, there. But on the 2015 Broncos, they completely shut out Cam Newton, who went 15-1 that season,
They
and
had
they
one great defensive player.
what
One.
like, dude, they had like seven or eight Pro Bowlers. They have the number two defense of all time in terms of statistics. Like,
The Ravens
um,
had the Ravens had like 14 Pro Bowlers last year, and look where it got them.
I'm talking about the Ravens only had like 12 Pro Bowlers, and that was on the offense and defense. I'm talking about just
Only
the.
12 Pro Bowlers. Only.
But there, see, I think the only reason they had that many Pro Bowlers is because of how good Lamar Jackson played, and it like transformed the whole team. But maybe
Yeah, but they still had so many guys who should have made the Pro Bowl. Like what's his name, the defensive tackle, and then Marlon Humphrey, maybe even Marcus Peters, Earl Thomas. So many guys over there.
yeah, but no, like that. I don't know how to explain that Broncos defense was just it beats the Seahawks in every single statistic. Like, I don't know what else I can say. I guess
But who won? But who won?
the Broncos defense also won in 2015. They shut out Cam Newton,
Yeah, that was Cam Newton. Who beat the best offense of all time?
the Seahawks. But if they both won, then like
Yeah, but
you have to
yeah,
look at statistics.
there's a difference, right? There's a difference in beating the
You're
prime
looking at one
Warriors.
game. You're looking at
There's a
one game.
difference
You're
in
not looking
beating
at the
the
season.
2017 Warriors and the 2013 Warriors, right?
Yeah, but you're looking at one game.
Okay, but yeah, one game is it's the equivalent of one entire playoff series. That's a big enough sample size, and it is one game, but it's the biggest
Okay,
game.
but I'm talking about the season itself. The team, like the
No one cares
Broncos had
about
a.
the season. No one cares about the season. The Bucks were the best team in the NBA last year, but they were actually not.
Okay,
So
fine, fine. Let's just look at the stats in those games, okay? Let's look at the amount of yards each team put up in those two games, and we can see.
it doesn't even have to be. They could have even allowed more yards, but it's look who they were going up against and look who they were going up against. It was the best offense of all time, versus a good offense, nothing special, but a good offense
The number one
versus
offense
the
in the
best.
league that year, though.
What
Panthers are the number one offense that year.
was the best offense of all time?
No, but
Exactly.
okay, but just look at like. Okay, I don't know. I
Were
don't
they an
know
all? Were
what
the
I can say.
Panthers an all-time great offense?
No.
Exactly. And did the Broncos have an amazing, truly like shutout win? No.
Yeah.
They won by like what, 12 points or something. Wasn't a
They
big
they
deal.
they won they won like 24-8 or something.
Yeah. 48-13 is a lot bit better than 28 to
Or
20.
43-8. But
What?
no, but I used that can also be attributed to like the offense, like, and the two return touchdowns and um the fumble that the Broncos had in the first play of the game that led to a safety. There's so many points of the like game that just went haywire, you know? I don't know. We're getting kind of off topic, but and speaking of that, let's just talk about Russell Wilson since we're talking about the Seahawks. Um, do you think that the Seahawks will even trade him? I feel like the relationship is still decent enough. It's not like Deshaun Watson's relationship with his team where
I don't know.
I feel like they can
It's
easily
really
rebuild this.
bizarre. I don't know what to do if I'm them because something needs to be changed because I think I told you a few times ago, Blake Bortles has more wins than Russell Wilson recently, and that's just insane. So, uh, I think you have to make a change. You've got Metcalf and you've got a good offensive team and all that, and you've got some defensive players. So you need to make a change. But the problem is the way quarterbacks are and how hit and miss they are and all that stuff. I don't know if you want to trade away
No,
Wilson, particularly if he's got like 8 to 10 years left. So
I think first of all their offensive line is like really bad. Like I don't think they've Wilson's had a good offensive line since like 2015 maybe, and the fact that he's still putting up like these good numbers with like a bottom five offensive line every single year is
I
pretty
mean,
like
it's
insane.
happened so many. I've personally seen it happen before, where like Russell, like this isn't the first time where he starts off so amazing and then just completely cools off into almost nothing.
Oh no, he actually said um it was like our scheme just got completely figured out. He literally
Exactly.
he
That's so.
basically
So
yeah.
I mean,
No,
that's
but
all.
they got the Rams like QB coach for their or like one of the Rams offensive coaches is their new offensive
Yeah,
coordinator.
that's a big mistake.
Um, why do you think that?
Why do they want to copy the Rams?
See, I don't know why every team does like that's also pretty like something
Like,
interesting to think about because you
first of
know
all,
every single
it
almost
almost
every
never
single
works. It almost never works. Second, why would you copy a team that's literally never won a title?
because they're successful with like they've been successful the last few years.
Why would you
Like,
not want a winning team's coach? Like,
wait, what do you mean? Like they're winning like they're consistently winning with Jared Goff as their quarterback. Like I don't know,
what does
they
that
haven't
what
had
is that
losing
supposed to mean?
like ever since Sean McVay came like 4 years ago they haven't or 5 years ago they haven't had a losing season. Like you can't just say why would you want to copy a team that never won a title because there's not and they won a title in 2000 like
2001.
so 2000.
So you're gonna bring out like you're gonna go to the graveyard and bring out those coaches.
Oh no but like wait what's your argument? Like I don't get why you said why would you
Why
copy a
would
team
you
that never
not
won a
want a
title?
Super Bowl team coach? I get it if you want Eric Bieniemy or someone, or if you want to get one of those Patriot guys, or if you want to bring in someone like Todd Bowles or someone. Why would like is your goal to have a winning season? Like if because that's what you said these Rams guys are. Would you is all you want a winning season?
Um, I'm not sure, but like I think it's just the fact the reputation that Sean McVay has and all of that. But
Yeah, and then
um,
even if he was a Super Bowl coach and he was truly special, which he's not, he it doesn't
wait,
work. You can't
you
just
actually
copy
think he's
someone.
not that special?
But
You actually think he's not like that special?
easy, he's not that special.
Okay, I don't know. We'll
If I
see.
look at his
I
hands, how
think
many rings will I see?
he's literally like 35 and he's already like he already made a Super Bowl when he was like
So
33.
who cares?
No, just
I'm not
think
saying
about
how good
that.
he'll be later. I'm saying he's not special now.
Okay, like I don't know. I feel like looking at that Seahawks
And
game
you
for
made an
example.
argument saying that's with Jared Goff, but that's not that big a deal because I can say, oh, he also has Aaron Donald, he also has Jalen Ramsey, he also had Todd Gurley, he had also that's not a good argument. Like, oh, even with Jared Goff, he managed to do that. And Jared Goff was an MVP that year, candidate.
Yeah, but if you see the reports, it's like Sean was talking about how Jared Goff can't make a single. He didn't say that, but other people like in the Rams organization were saying that Jared Goff can't make a single audible, and Sean McVay has to call all the audibles from the sideline. He's doing everything for the team. I think
Oh
this
yeah,
season is a
and
test.
you know what Sean McVay isn't doing? Winning
But
defensive player of the year after year. Is that only because of Sean McVay being amazing?
no, but you can use the same argument for any other coach. They have you still have to have like a, an amount of talent to make it
Of
that far.
course,
You can't just
and I'm saying they do have that good amount of talent. You're the one saying they don't. You're the one saying, "Oh, look,
no, but
they've only
you're no
got
you're
Jared Goff
saying
and they're still
no.
winning."
Think about all these Super Bowl teams, right? Like When was
No,
the last time a Super Bowl team?
what you're saying is Jared Goff. I mean, Sean McVay is a good coach because in spite of Jared Goff being there, he's still finding a way to win games. And I'm saying that's
Yeah.
not a valid argument because I can say you're right. He does. Jared Goff isn't amazing, and that he is a hurdle in some ways. But you know who's not a hurdle? Aaron Donald. You know
Okay,
who's not a
but
hurdle?
all
Todd
but
Gurley.
like if you think about any super team, I mean Super Bowl team, and like in recent memory, like they've never had a quarterback as bad as Jared Goff.
Nick Foles.
The team, Nick Foles is better than Jared Goff.
No,
If
he
you just
wasn't.
look at,
Jared Goff was an MVP candidate. Nick Foles has never been an MVP candidate.
but the reason MVP can't hit was because of Sean McVay. He can't make a
And
call. He
2019 and
just made
2019,
errors.
Tom Brady wasn't amazing either. So
So like, are you comparing Tom Brady to Jared Goff?
yeah,
Tom Brady,
as a matter of fact, that season, 10 out of 10 people would have taken Jared Goff because Jared Goff was an MVP that year, and
I
Tom
know,
Brady.
but like Tom Brady doesn't make bad decisions, and he's also
You
Tom
know he
Brady
did
in
right
this game.
in that Super Bowl. The only reason it was close was because he made mistakes. Otherwise, like it shouldn't even have been a 13-3 game. It should have been like 24-3 or something. The only reason they were close is because the Rams defense did a pretty good job, and
Well, didn't
Brady
the
made
Rams
a lot of
offense
mistakes.
also make mistakes?
No, the Rams offense didn't make mistakes. The Rams offense couldn't do a thing.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like I think it's this year's just a test to see if with Matthews if the Rams don't win like games this year. I mean, if the Rams don't make it to like the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship and like almost make Super Bowl this year with Matthew Stafford as their quarterback, I think then you can kind of question Sean McVay. But um, I think this is
I
like
mean,
a test for him.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not gonna. Almost certainly like there aren't many guys better than him, and I almost certainly would want him leading the team if I was an owner. But like, he's not good enough that you would want to replicate whatever he does. First of all, you don't want to replicate things because it often doesn't work. And
Yeah.
even if you did want to replicate, other than New England, I don't see why you would want to do that.
And honestly, like with New England, it's like almost impossible to replicate because they have like the perfect situation, and you're just not gonna get that. Like
But I mean,
I
people
don't know.
are able
It's
to do that. The
like
Titans
honestly
did that.
the
The
situation that's
Dolphins do
the
that.
easiest to replicate is um probably like I don't even know, like it's just a team where you draft a quarterback with a really talented roster and you just try to win it title. But I don't know, that's kind of generic, I guess. And um what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the other team with a lot of like a lot of coach signings is the Ravens. I'm not really sure. I feel like John Harbaugh isn't that great of a coach, but maybe
I think the Ravens shouldn't be that like because they had 1 year when we took the whole league by storm, but then the next year they sort of got figured out because if you do something different, like that's a true test of time. That's where
they
something
didn't
like
get
the
figured
Golden
out this
State
year.
Warriors survived the test of time because not only did they win, they proved it wasn't a fluke. They won it the next year and the next year and the next year and all that. So
But they didn't get figured out this year. Like, what
yeah,
makes
of
you
course
think
they
that?
did.
How? Like, their stats didn't go down. Their when Lamar Jackson was playing, they were 10-3. They made it to
No,
the
they were
divisional round.
9-3.
No, they were 10-3.
You said they were 10-2, but actually that means they're if but you forgot to count
No, no,
one.
no. I checked. He played 13.
Yeah, but
Um,
two of those games were against the Bengals, 3 wins, and then what was their schedule?
I can check, but like a lot of teams have free wins. Like,
I mean, how many?
a lot of these playoff teams have free wins. Like no, they literally made it to the same like to the same game they made it last year, and
Yeah, because
they
last year the disappointment. You're saying you're justifying this
okay,
year
but
wasn't a
I know,
disappointment. Last year
but
was.
I'm
That
saying they actually last year like their defense just completely got pounded by the run, right? But this year they actually had a chance to, um, they actually had a chance to win the game if Lamar Jackson didn't have a concussion, like
so week
and
one, 38-6, they beat the Browns. That's a solid win. I'll give that. Next one is Texans. That's a free win. Chiefs, they couldn't beat them. Washington was
wait,
terrible
but
early on.
Ayush,
The
that was when
Bengals,
the
that's a
Texans
free win.
were.
Philadelphia,
used to,
that's a really that's easy. I don't know how you could choke Philadelphia. Good
I
team.
used,
They so
can I say
let's
something?
count
Can
the
I say something?
quality wins they have. Okay.
Can I say something though?
So
Can I say something?
wait,
Wait,
hold on. Let's count the
okay.
quality wins they have. Let me share this.
I know, but can I just
Let's
say
count how
something
many
first?
quality wins they've got. So the Browns, I don't think they're that good then, but I'll give them the credit. That's one quality win. Loss, loss, loss,
Their
loss,
their their
loss.
loss to Tennessee and Pittsburgh
Okay, this is
was
the quality win. I'll give them the Colts. They should have. They probably. That's a good win. Loss. Another loss. Another loss. Free win. That's
I
another
used
quality win.
okay. Can I say something?
That's free
In
one.
the
Free one.
in week
Free one. They had three good wins on the year.
I know, but okay. You're not letting me like explain any of the games. You're just saying loss win. In in the game against Houston, this is back when obviously Houston's a good team, but they beat them by 17, and Houston was healthy that time, and Houston probably was the most injured roster in the NFL. And then
Houston was 0-5. They lost to everybody. That's not a big deal.
okay, and then the two losses in a row to Tennessee and Pittsburgh were when Lamar Jackson had COVID, so he was out, and then um the loss to New England was just like no loss. The loss to Kansas City was just a loss because Kansas City was like the, maybe the best team in the league this year other than the Bucks, or even the best team. And then um the like the loss to Pittsburgh, I don't know.
I mean, like,
It
let's
was a
just be fair.
2024 game.
This is a team that they were supposed to be about equally as good as. So the Texans, that's free.
No,
Chargers,
but Aish,
Chargers. This game really wasn't free, but okay,
wait,
let's give
Aish,
it to them.
can I make an argument? Can I
Ravens.
make an
Wait, hold
argument?
on, one second, one second. Let's just go through this
No,
quickly.
wait, no, why?
Wait, look, wait, look,
It's not.
wait, look, wait,
No,
one second. We're already week three. This is a solid win. This is a solid win. This is a loss. This is according to you, this is like a god level win according to you. This is a free one. This is also a free one. Also a free one. This is a quality win. This is a quality win. Free. Quality win. Quality win. Free. And Mahomes wasn't playing.
wait,
That's why
why is the win against the Raiders a quality win?
because everything was at stake there. The Raiders already beat them once in the year. They're the only team that beat them.
But that doesn't make it a quality win.
Yeah, it does. They're a good team.
Okay, I don't know, but no, like that doesn't matter because you're saying the Ravens got figured out, right? But like, how does that relate to the Chiefs? I'm not comparing them to the Chiefs. I'm just saying that um like they didn't get figured out. They might have even played better than like that year. I don't know. Like
No,
it's just
they're
because
14-2.
I
They're
know, but that like it's just I feel like they're a better team than that year. Like that year, honestly, like I literally was like so I was so sad that they're gonna lose to the Titans. I had like no um confidence in them at all. I don't know why. I guess um I just didn't see them as a good team, but this year I saw them as a good team. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just that year I feel like it was all a fluke. They were just all those wins weren't like uh, they weren't like that quality of wins, I guess, and they even lost to the Chiefs, which just showed that the Chiefs were a better team even that year. So yeah, I guess. Um, all right, well, do you want to
But
talk
your
about
game
JJ
was
Watt?
bad.
I don't talk about JJ Watt.
Not really. Do you want to?
We can just talk about it for like a few minutes. So
For sure.
um, I feel like the two front runners from right now are the Browns and the Steelers. For some reason, everybody thinks he's going to go to the Browns. I'm not really sure.
I went to the Browns for sure.
You think he's going to the Browns?
Because his brothers are in the Steelers. So he's not going to the Steelers.
Really, I think he might go. Like, he might go to the Steelers because he wants to play with his brothers. You know?
He could go to the Steelers. He's probably going to go to some NFC team, I think.
No, because the Browns and the Steelers probably are the two best defensive ends in the league, and like that'd be a good tandem to pair up with. You know, like Miles Garrett and T.J. Watt, but on like
And I
the other
mean,
side of
he's
you.
Aaron Donald. I mean, Jaden Watt's like the 20, according to Pro Football Focus, was like the 20th best defender in the league. So
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is with JJ Watt, his whole defense around him was just so bad that you can't really tell if it was like his fault or if it was like other people's fault. But like just the talent he has and the like his performance over his career, I feel like he's gonna be a really big pickup. But at the same time, I saw a report today morning saying that he was getting $16 million offers. I don't really know if I feel like that might be too high of a number in the NFL, but what do you think about that?
If it's for a 1 or 2 year deal and it's for a team like the Browns who could compete, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense.
It's
All
all
right,
about
well,
situation. I mean, there's no point giving him a 5 year deal if you're the Jaguars for $200 million something. So
yeah, and
200 million is way too much, but
yeah, I feel like this free agency is going to be exciting. Hopefully, coming up, and maybe there'll be a few big splashes in trades like Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. Honestly, we've already got like two decently big trades with the Matthew Stafford win and the Carson Wentz trade that, and hopefully we get more. I guess so. Yeah.
yeah. Well, all right then. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Matt Shift podcast. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.